Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Laughing to the Void podcast with your host, Colin. That's me. Would you believe me if I told you I didn't have any socks on right now? Okay. You better not laugh at these next jokes, because they're not funny. Why did the man bring a banana to the office party? Because he likes bananas and wanted a snack at the party. I went for a walk the other day. If you consider a walk violently and yelling at the television. Bill Gates made about $4 billion last year, which is about $3,999,999,850 more than what I paid to get Lego Batman removed from my sphincter. A goat whisperer in Uzbekistan warned the government of a violent uprising, shortly before hundreds of goats ran into his home and stomped on his body until he bled to death. Why did the duck cross the road? To get to the other side. Ducks often cross roads in search of food, water, or their nesting location. I was recently robbed by a doctor. The doctor was strolling down an alleyway and he stopped me and he said, "Sir, take off all your clothes and shut your eyes so you can't see me." On second thought, I don't think he was a doctor. I think it was just a homeless man. That's enough of the jokes that you're not supposed to laugh at. I hope you didn't get any enjoyment out of them. That was kind of the purpose of them. All right, this next joke says, "Insert joke about dog with bulimia." No, that wasn't very funny. And another one says, "Insert joke about visiting to see where my clothes are stitched together." It looks like the guy who writes my jokes took a break this week. Consequences will be had. Do you judge which apples to pick based on how visually appealing they are? Because that's pretty shallow. Because I like to judge them by what's on the inside. Now whenever I walk into the grocery store, the workers go onto the loudspeaker and say, "The man who took one bite from all the apples and pelted the workers while standing on the grape section naked is back. All hands on deck." And that's what it's like when I go to the grocery store now. 2 or 1/2? The first prime number. The number of sides to a coin. A running total of how many times you've walked in on your parents committing adultery this week. And the number of nostrils needed to smell the decaying corpse in your backyard. It's the number that God wants to be our favorite. He gave us 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 Isaiah Thomas championships. 1/2 on the other hand. The forbidden fruit that bears so many gifts, but makes such a mockery of nature. 1/2. Your parents' money after the divorce. A life crisis. The pipe that the red-hair guy went on. The sister that your father had through adultery. It's the number of strokes that you tell your friends, and then they say it doesn't count. The ideal number of apple slices, and even the inverse of 2. But which shall prevail? You've come here to find out. What you just listened to was basically a video idea that I had that I thought was going to be really good, but I realized I'm a total dumbass, so I fleshed it out in podcast form instead of giving you 3.5 minutes of some skit that was awful. So you're welcome. You didn't have to watch the skit. My friend told me that he only likes to make love with older women because he doesn't have to use a condom. And he can get away with it too because they've already gone through menopause. The person writing this wants you to know that it smells like shit at the location of where this is being written. They, gender unspecified, also want you to know that they should have gotten a DUI 2 weeks ago. I'll have to check on the guy that writes my jokes more often. A fine point of social interaction that I came across that really irritated me was when I was driving and the pedestrians waited for me to stop completely until they started crossing the street. Like, you could have already been halfway across the street, and I wouldn't have to wait the 6 seconds it takes you to get that far in order to start going where I need to be going. Like, I slowed down for the reason of not hitting you, but now I realize that I should have just blown the stop sign and saved us both the time and frustration. I think I need a higher dose of Prozac. Completely unrelated. Well, I don't have any more jokes written, so... Do you have any? Oh yeah, go ahead. Wow, that was pretty funny. Do you have any more? No? What a shame. Seems like I've actually found more jokes in here, so let me get to those. There was a young man at the library with his Birkenstocks kicked off, just typing away on his computer, with the soles of his feet stained dark brown from his lack of footwear. I think we've passed the point as a society where we can walk around and roam the wild shoeless. These technologies were made to ease stressors in our life, like viral foot fungus, plantar's warts, athlete's foot, trench foot, tetanus, hookworm, cellulitis, or leptospirosis. His feet must have some wicked flavor, though. I just imagine a piquant tang of a gas station restroom that's half Buc-ee's, half McDonald's, where you see a group of Amish people congregating because their horse and buggy ran out of gas. Then there's a sweet undertone of the vanilla latte that was spilled in front of the Walgreens when he went to pick up his post-burger Prilosec. Then there's just a pinch of an inorganic chlorine aftertaste from his swim in the morning at the YMCA. Then he saunters on over to the library, with his corns dragging across the ground, scraping the cement away from the earth with every step. Then I'm stuck there, with the underbellies of his walkers staring at me, almost taunting me to lick them clean. That was my experience studying for finals at the library. It's pretty wild. So I'm having an intern work for me this summer to kind of take some of the creative load off of me, and I gave them some space in the podcast to write some jokes, and these are jokes that the intern wrote. Let's see how the intern does on his first podcast assignment. I found a barrel of horse on the side of the highway on my way to the office this morning. I can't wait until they make that War Horse sequel about the horse's grandson. Half-eaten Gluestick on the floor at Walmart. I think that one had potential, but it was a little bit scattered. On to the next one. I can't wait to grow older, so I can finally eat that glass vase that my mother keeps above the fireplace. It always looked like such a treat, but she never let me have a taste. I think the intern might have to go back to the drawing board on that one. A little bit of a step down from the previous. The worst part of getting a DUI is dislodging the Type F iPhone charger from your windshield, as you happen to run to the back of a prestigious Italian bakery and hit the outlet in the break room. You also hit 4 adult customers and a 15-year-old Italian boy working the cash register. What a travesty. Sounds like the intern has some substance issues. I have to take that up with HR before we move forward with his work. There was a Muslim man praying beside me today. We weren't in a place of worship. He just dropped to his knees, and I assumed it wasn't for me. He was also angled strangely in the room, which is how I know he wasn't Christian. You know how the church would feel about praying crooked. I looked it up, and it's because all Muslims pray toward the Grand Mosque in Saudi Arabia. It's a very important place for them. It's the very location that trillions of dollars of oil are drilled from the ground every year. Allah must love them more than God loves me, because I've never found $1 trillion worth of oil in my backyard. I guess the difference between Islam and Christianity is that if you drilled under the Grand Mosque, you'd find millions of gallons of crude oil. But if you drilled under the Vatican, you'd find millions of gallons of Pope's that's been preserved through the millennia. I have small ears. They used to be bigger, but I had to make ends meet. They may be small, but they sure are sensitive. I can hear you right now, slowly mouth breathing, as you sit there, staring at the pixelated version of me on your screen. I used to be self-conscious about my small ears, until I realized I was more aerodynamic. Other children would stick their head out of the sunroof of the car, slow the car down 5 to 10 miles an hour, but not me. That Honda Accord never had less drag in its life. They would stick me out the airplane porthole if they didn't think the airplane would have enough fuel to land. I single-handedly saved 6 flights from an underfuel crash landing. Bet you can't say that much about your ears. That was the story of prepubescent me saving 6 Delta flights. If I kill myself and there's no suicide note, just know that's because Alex Earl was invited to an F1 race by Ferrari instead of me. Putting a candle up before you leave is a rule created for those who didn't learn to add until 6th grade. Like my place isn't gonna spontaneously combust when I leave for an hour. I reckon it's the same logic as labeling straws as choking hazards. Like, yes, you might choke on a straw, but your jaw is probably permanently slack in that case. My candle, my choice. Do you ever get the urge to scratch the stone-like booger off your nose artery, even though you know it'll completely drain your head of blood? Take control of your destiny and scratch it. Be a man. Time for a new game. Would I walk barefoot there? Where I provide a hypothetical place and ponder whether I'd walk barefoot there. First one, St. Louis Gypsy Caravan Stop, East Side. No. Motel 6, single bed bathroom. Probably. Downtown San Francisco alleyway with dozens of homeless folks shooting fentanyl. Probably not. Now that's enough of the game, would I walk barefoot there? Time to move on to a joke. I wonder how many times the mom that drove the carpool to baseball practice was on Percocet. They just finished their 3rd glass of wine and realized it's 2:30 and practice starts in 30 minutes. Then they take a Percocet to calm their nerves and then a Ritalin to make them focus. That would explain why the rides are always so chill. Hey, honey. Oh, it's automatic. No need to pull so hard. Oh, there's some room in the back if you just crawl in there. And it was always a minor miracle that you made it, but no one is the wiser. Jeremiah thinks she's acting normal, but she's really just sauce 24/7. Oh, to be an opiate-addicted mother. People keep asking me whether I have any big plans for the rest of my life after school, but I think I just want to suck on a car exhaust for the rest of my life. People think they're better than others for being well-traveled. I disagree. People claim to get a better understanding of different cultures, aka the people poorer than you, that is. As if you don't pass hundreds of homeless people walking down the street in your hometown every day. There are so many homeless and poor people living in bad conditions, and it just makes me grateful for my own life. Sounds like the fentanyl in Europe isn't very good. I'm sure if the government wrapped up production of fentanyl and did some research to make it stronger in those countries that you wouldn't be so impressed with your American lifestyle. People don't travel outside the US to appreciate their lives more. They do it to see how mid the fentanyl in Western Europe is. Back in America, we do it right. Now, I know I already did some characters, but I'm going to do a few more. So this is a guy doing some work in public, and he smells a caustic scent, but can't identify where it's coming from, and is too anxious to say anything. I've realized that a lot of the jokes that I make aren't very funny, but it's funny in the sense that I'm just losing my fucking mind and decide to film it for you. This next character is Jonas, a man who seems a tad troubled filling out a verbal questionnaire to join a dating site. Qualities I look for are physically abusive ex, so it doesn't seem as bad when I steal her identity. Long arms, so she has a reach advantage when I put her in the ring. And feet that are tilted a little bit outward so I know which snow tracks are hers. So that was every single person on Reddit, aka every Reddit user. This is a middle-aged white man whose order was wrong at McDonald's and now he's in a verbal altercation with the staff. Hey, Who's gonna fix this? I paid my $5.64 and deserve to get what I ordered. Yeah? That's why you work at McDonald's. Yeah, maybe I will eat what you gave me instead. You know what? I'll eat all the grout out of the tiles too. How about that? I scrape all 30 years worth of grout off the ground, put it in the deep fryer, make it into a broth, and then pour it down my gullet. How about that? So that was your father when they gave him a medium fry instead of a small fry at McDonald's. This is a sneakerhead that comes up to you in public and compliments your shoes. Hey, what's up, man? I like the shoes. Where'd you get them? Oh, StockX. Yeah, you gotta look out for fakes nowadays. No, I'm sure those are real. I believe you. What size are those? 11. That's what I wear too. Well, technically my left foot is a 10 and my right foot is a 12, but I just get 11 instead. Would you be willing to sell them to me? For the right price? Yeah, that makes sense. I have like $60 on me and a cooler full of your diarrhea in my trunk. How would I get it? Oh, I have a part-time job that pays cash. Oh yeah, you meant the other thing. So my dad is actually the CEO of the U.S. sewer system, so I can really get anyone's diarrhea that I want. Yep, definitely has its perks. No? I can get you another cooler of your diarrhea if you want. It could actually be anyone, just name someone. You don't want to sell them anymore. Well, I guess I'll just pour your diarrhea into my semen repository then. And that's every person that likes shoes. I know I just did some characters, but I actually brought some impersonations this week. This is my rendition of Helen Keller going about her morning routine. Boy, is it difficult to read this paper, being blind and all. If I could only listen to my favorite folk music in the morning, it would help calm my nerves. But I can't because I'm deaf. Is that burning toast I smell? Or am I having a stroke? Pretty crazy I wrote all those books and gave talks while being completely blind and deaf. Any other human would find this unfathomable. But I did it. And that was me as Helen Keller. So, I don't have any would you rathers this week. I'll do them in the future again, but I just wanted to take a break because I was kind of getting bored of them. But yeah, they'll be back eventually. So that brings us to our final segment, and then I'll let you guys go. The TikTok of the Week segment. This is where I show you TikToks, and then you have a reaction. So here is the first one. I think it was interesting how that rat was perfectly placed to be dead in front of the Eiffel Tower. That really brought it together for me. And then when he did the Remy Boys, that made me laugh even harder. Here is the next one. This is more of like a meme template one, but I think you'll get a kick out of it.
You are not.
The joke is that you don't want to be Romanian. Originally, you didn't want to be a father because that's like a big responsibility and stuff. But in this case, it's Romanian. So that's why I like that one. And here's the final one, an original, a classic.
Yo, fattest lick ever. Fattest lick ever.
Is this one pill, bro?
Yeah.
Speak to him.
Oh yeah, I'm nothing tonight.
Yeah, sir.
And you know what else is crazy? That baby dead.
Guy's ruthless. I commend his confidence in the situation, and it's kind of interesting that he bought the Plan B ahead of time. Plan B is his Plan A, as some might say. Yeah, that brought me some joy, so I hope it brought you joy as well. Did you get joy from that? Okay. Well, that's about all I had for you guys this week. Again, I appreciate you watching. I'll have some non-podcast videos come out on TikTok and shorts soon. I just got finished with finals, so I have some more time to do videos and stuff. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. Go follow me on TikTok and Instagram if you're really invested. But yeah, I appreciate you. Good night.
Really ain't tryna hear shit about the other guy. Nah, for real. Really ain't tryna hear shit about that nigga. Gotta understand. You know that I came to supply. Pull up on 4 teachers, jumping the ride. Yes, it's a phone, please don't act surprised.
Great job, guys. Really excellent job.